There is a brutal and invisible difference between the man who begs for a miracle and the man who awakens to the authority of his own spirit. Dr. Joseph Murphy dedicated more than 4 decades of theological and mental research to prove a devastating truth. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in the cycle of pain and scarcity because they were taught to beg. They weep before the invisible, shout against matter, and plead for help as if they were abandoned orphans in a hostile universe. However, the subconscious does not respond to the drama of despair. It responds with surgical precision to the command of conviction. When you kneel consumed by the panic of lack, you are not praying. You are merely issuing a decree of despair to the depths of your mind. You are engraving upon invisible matter that you are weak, that you are abandoned, and that evil holds authority over your existence. The hidden mechanism that governs your destiny demands a completely opposite posture. To alter your physical reality and see the doors of prosperity and healing open, you must stop begging this very day and begin decreeing with the firmness of one who knows the laws of the Spirit. Understand the deep psychology behind this divine mechanism. Your subconscious is a spiritual matrix completely devoid of moral judgment. It functions exactly like the fertile soil of the earth. If a farmer goes to the field, weeps on his knees, and plants thorn seeds while begging for wheat harvests, the earth will not change its natural law to accommodate his tears. The soil will simply take the thorn seed and germinate it in pain. In the same way, your deep mind takes the seed of your daily feeling and materializes it in your visible world. When you beg, the dominant feeling behind your word is lack. You beg because you feel you do not have. You plead because you believe healing is distant. You despair because you have accepted poverty as a present reality. By changing your posture from a beggar to a ruler of your mind, you alter the instruction you send to infinite intelligence. To decree is to claim in the invisible that which is already yours by right of creation. It is looking at the mountain of the problem and declaring its dissolution without accepting doubt in your heart. Julian Vance was 46 years old when he saw his life fall apart completely in Philadelphia in the year 1956. He was a small supply distributor who watched his business get devoured by imminent bankruptcy, while his body reacted to the stress with chronic back pain that prevented him from walking firmly. His mornings were a nightmare of anguish. He woke up on the cold sheets of his room, looked at the pile of legal notices upon his dark mahogany desk, and spent hours weeping and begging God for financial relief. Julian pleaded for clients, pleaded for health, and pleaded not to be evicted with his family. The more he begged and wept, the more contracts failed, and the more his physical pain intensified. That was when a pamphlet of Dr. Joseph Murphy's lectures fell into his hands. The sentence that pierced the darkness of his spirit said, "God is not a tyrant to be appeased with tears. Infinite intelligence is a mental law that responds to your firm determination." Julian understood that his pleas were merely daily decrees of misery. He realized that his deep mind received his tears as an order to keep producing scarcity. Determined to change his destiny, Julian completely halted the weeping and spiritual begging. He adopted the practice of immediate action and began applying the method we call here on the channel the command of the Supreme Presence. Every morning, upon opening his eyes, he refused to look at the collection letters. He sat on the edge of the bed, kept his spine straight, took a deep breath, and spoke directly to the invisible and to his own body, not as a beggar, but as a captain giving orders to his crew. He affirmed with serenity and authority, "Infinite intelligence is my inexhaustible source. Money and vitality flow to me in perfect order." He felt the vibration of this truth course through his arteries, undoing the paralysis of fear. In less than 6 weeks of firm daily decrees, a former business partner from New York contacted him unexpectedly to propose a commercial merger that not only covered all his outstanding debts, but multiplied his assets tenfold in less than 2 years. Julian's back pain vanished the very day he stopped bowing to fear. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. Infinite intelligence responds now to my decree of power. The mechanics governing your transformation require you to understand once and for all that matter has no power of resistance before the words spoken with spiritual faith. Many people spend years believing that humility before God means accepting misery, suffering, and weakness with resignation. This is one of the greatest spiritual distortions ever inoculated into human consciousness. True humility is recognizing that infinite intelligence dwells within you and that your duty is to express the abundance, health, and peace of your divine origin. When you accept limitation as an inevitable sentence, you are denying the presence of God in your own being. You are giving more authority to your temporary bank balance or your body's diagnosis than to the supreme force that created the entire universe. To stop begging is an act of courage and spiritual awakening. It means taking your eyes off the symptoms of lack and fixing your attention on the reality of the solution. If this teaching is resonating in your soul and igniting the flame of your inner authority, subscribe right now to the Subconscious Code channel and turn on the notification bell. Become part of our community of awakened minds and receive daily the keys to reprogram your reality. Sacred Scripture recorded this hidden key masterfully in the book of Job, chapter 22, verse 28, when it declares, "You will also decree a thing, and it will be established for you, and light will shine on your ways." Observe carefully the depth and precision of this ancient instruction. Spiritual guidance does not command you to weep, plead, or bargain with the invisible. The instruction demands that you decree. To decree is to command with the absolute conviction of one who knows that the cause of all things dwells in the dimension of the subconscious mind. It is the conscious refusal to accept defeat as an option for your life. By assuming the posture of one who decrees their own health, prosperity, and peace, you issue a supreme command to your subconscious. Infinite intelligence welcomes this decree as an unalterable law and begins to move people, reorganize matter, and open doors in the visible world so that your determination is fulfilled gloriously. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. My decree of peace and prosperity manifests now. The hidden mechanism that governs your economic, physical, and spiritual destiny does not rest for a single second, and it responds strictly to the supreme code you accept as absolute truth in the secret of your soul. When Dr. Joseph Murphy dedicated his life to mapping the dynamism between applied faith and the human mind, he revealed one of the deepest secrets of mental science. The universe does not operate under the rule of luck, chance, or divine favoritism. There is an unalterable principle that sustains the entire structure of our material existence, the pillar of the law of belief. Everything you impress upon your subconscious mind with emotion, conviction, and feeling becomes your visible reality. Most people spend their entire lives making a tragic mistake that locks the doors of wealth and liberation. They try to change the fruits of life without ever changing the mental seed. They spend entire days complaining about scarcity, feeding feelings of rejection, dwelling on past injustices, and focusing on the paralysis of fear, only to close their eyes at night, expecting tomorrow to bring miracles. This is a spiritual impossibility. Your subconscious is a perfect mathematical matrix. It will never deliver a single cent of prosperity or a single ounce of healing to you if the instruction engraved upon your spirit is the frequency of weakness, doubt, and begging. To understand how this mechanic operates in your daily routine, visualize your deep mind under the metaphor of the captain and the hold of a great ship. Your conscious mind is the captain living on the upper deck. Your subconscious represents the deep machinery, the crew, and the invisible motor in the hold of the vessel. If the captain surrenders to dread before the storm, runs from side to side, and shouts to his sailors that the structure is giving way and defeat is inevitable, the sailors working in the dark collapse and begin executing disastrous commands. However, the deep machinery of the ship does not question orders from the deck. The instant the captain assumes his post with unwavering serenity, contemplates the rough sea, and decrees with absolute authority that the vessel is strong and the storm will pass, the entire crew in the depths adjusts the gears and resumes perfect balance. The matter of your world is absolutely passive. Your circumstances have no will of their own. They are merely the moldable reflection of the verbal and emotional orders you issue from the command bridge of your spirit. When you learn to withdraw attention from problems and fix your consciousness on the perfection of the divine presence, the gears of your deep mind halt the production of scarcity and begin generating wealth and continuous harmonization. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. The projector of my mind reflects only God's wealth. Dispel right now one of the greatest and most dangerous illusions grafted onto human consciousness across the centuries: the erroneous belief that poverty or weakness possesses any spiritual value. Many people were taught to believe that financial limitation is a test of virtue that pleases the Creator, or that enduring misery with resignation brings the soul closer to divine purity. Dr. Joseph Murphy dismantled this lie with devastating clarity. Poverty is not a spiritual virtue. Poverty is a severe disease of the human mind. The infinite intelligence that architected the perfect structure of the cosmos knows no lack. Look at nature around you without the veils of fear. A single tree produces thousands of fruits and seeds. The stars in the firmament are countless. The oceans overflow with life and abundance. The entire creation is an incessant chant of bounty and constructive expansion. Therefore, when you accept financial limitation as an inevitable condemnation, you are disconnecting yourself from your own divine origin. Money is not an evil in itself. Money is a neutral energy, a symbol of divine opulence circulating on earth. Desiring it with wisdom, multiplying it with joy, and using it for the expansion of good is your sacred birthright. Scarcity only remains in your life as long as you continue feeding the flame of pain with the fuel of your anxious attention. When you cease the verbal war and retreat into the silence of the spirit, misery loses its sustenance and collapses due to absence of mental life. To help his students test the readiness of their mind and apply the authority of the spirit definitively, Dr. Joseph Murphy taught a practical discipline we named on the channel the alignment of supreme stillness. This method consists of completely withdrawing your mind from sensory stimuli before complaint leaves your mouth or at the exact instant anxiety threatens to invade your chest. Instead of reacting with dread before bad news, an unexpected bill, or an obstacle in your business, you must close your eyes for 3 minutes and visualize that an infinite ocean of supply exists just beneath the agitated surface of your emotions. By practicing the alignment of supreme stillness, you interrupt the stress response in your nervous system and prevent the belief in scarcity from taking root in your deep mind. You assume the posture of a conscious observer, knowing that infinite intelligence already possesses the perfect solution and the exact wealth to resolve any human impasse before it even appears in the visible world. It was precisely by applying this silent alignment that men and women over decades reversed, declared bankruptcies, restored shattered homes, and achieved financial miracles that common logic considered impossible. They understood that the silence of the mind is not passivity, but the purest and most concentrated form of mental power a human being can exercise. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. I surrender my mind to the unwavering flow of peace. If this understanding is bringing the light of restoration to your consciousness and renewing the strength of your soul, be sure to subscribe to the Subconscious Code channel and turn on the notification bell. Do not allow this truth to get lost in the rush of your routine. Become part of our community of awakened minds and receive daily the nourishment that will reprogram your reality. Always remember that your subconscious is infinitely faithful to the command it receives from your conscious mind in the first instant of the morning and the last minute of the night. When the day ends and you retreat to your bed, the portal to your deep mind swings wide open. It is at that moment that blind faith must give way to spiritual science. You do not need to beg for a prosperous tomorrow. You do not need to cry for divine pity. And you do not need to plead for help as if you were an abandoned orphan in the universe. All you need is to claim your inheritance of wealth and authority with the unwavering serenity of one who knows that the cause of all reality dwells within themselves. The stillness of your soul is the most powerful weapon on earth. It dissolves knots of tension, annuls decrees of fear, and opens the doors of heaven, so that prosperity, health, and infinite wealth flow into your life in an uninterrupted, harmonious, and glorious manner. Scientific prayer is not a desperate plea cast into the void, nor a painful supplication made to a distant God. It is the conscious, systematic, and unwavering attunement with the divine law that already dwells in the supreme center of your being. When you understand that the answer to your desire precedes the very manifestation of your pain, the entire structure of your mind transforms. Dr. Joseph Murphy repeatedly insisted that to pray scientifically is to claim in the invisible that which you wish to see mirrored in the visible world. The subconscious mind does not respond to the intensity of your weeping, nor to the drama of your daily problems. It responds, with mathematical precision, to the quality of your inner belief and the firmness of your authority in the moment of silence. Close the eyes of your physical body for a moment and open the eyes of your spirit. Let the noise of worries, debts, fatigue, and diagnoses of the conscious mind dissolve completely right now. Take a deep breath and feel the healing and abundant presence flow through your consciousness. From this sacred instant, we surrender our entire being to the infinite intelligence that dwells in the silent sanctuary of the soul. The divine presence that created my body, that sustains the visible and invisible worlds and governs the universe in perfect order, is the only source of all my supply, my peace, my vitality, and my wealth. I know, with absolute conviction and crystal clarity, that my subconscious mind is God's fertile soil within me. Every seed of opulence, prosperity, health, harmony, serenity, and abundance that I now deposit in my deep mind germinates in perfect order and beauty in my material reality. I completely forgive my past and everyone involved in my journey. I now release all memories of pain, all accumulated bitterness, frustrations, and all old beliefs of limitation or scarcity that once imprisoned my soul. Resentment dissolves completely in the ocean of divine love. My soul is clean, serene, in absolute stillness, and open to receive the uninterrupted flow of all blessings. Infinite intelligence opens pathways where before there were only locked doors. Prosperity flows into my life constantly, freely, harmoniously, and abundantly, always serving as an instrument of joy, expansion, well-being, and liberation. Perfect health dwells in every cell, every organ, every tissue, and every system of my physical body. Divine order governs sovereignly over my business, my home, my mind, and all my relationships. I do not fight against external circumstances, and I do not spend my energy combating matter. I sit in the stillness of my soul and contemplate my victory in advance. I give thanks from the bottom of my heart, because I know that my request has already been answered in the dimension of the invisible and now manifests gloriously in my visible world. And so it is. Medite. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. Infinite intelligence now brings forth the manifestation of my victory. The constant reiteration of spiritual truth is the master key to the deep reprogramming of your cells and your existence. When you mentally repeat the reality of your inner power and speak to your mind with the firmness of the spirit, you smooth out stress patterns and grooves of fear that were carved into your biological mind by years of negative conditioning. Limitation only possesses the strength that your mental noise and frightened attention grant it. The moment you collect your conscious mind, refuse to accept weakness as a final sentence, and nestle into the authoritative stillness of the spirit, all chains of suffering break like straw in the wind. Inner calm is the sacred laboratory where the greatest miracles of human life are born. Understand your true and unalterable nature. You are not a fragile victim of market circumstances, nor a passive vessel at the mercy of uncertainties or the wear of time. You are the direct heir of infinite intelligence, endowed with the supreme and inalienable power to shape your reality through the law of belief, the word spoken with authority, and inner tranquility. All the abundance of the universe belongs to you by right of birth, waiting only for your mind to quiet down to accept that state and decree it in the secret of your heart. When night arrives and silence settles over your room, Prepare to execute your most sacred and integrating moment of the day. Lie down comfortably on your bed, turn off the noise of the external environment, put away electronic devices, and close your eyes with deep serenity. Do not review the day's problems, do not bring fears of tomorrow to bed, and do not feed doubts about your strength. The day has ended, and the physical world will rest. Gently place your right hand over the center of your chest. Feel your heartbeat slow down, and feel your breathing become deep, rhythmic, and light. Repeat just 2 words like a lullaby for your deep mind. Peace, victory. Let your subconscious absorb the pure vibration of these words as you drift peacefully off to sleep, allowing the wisdom of God to work on rebuilding your life, harmonizing your mind, and restoring your strength during the hours of your rest. If this message touched your heart and brought the light of restoration to your soul, leave your like on this video and subscribe to the Subconscious Code channel. By subscribing, you unite your energy with our community of awakened minds, strengthening the great chain of enlightenment, peace, and prosperity. Also, leave your affirmation of victory in the comments to seal this sacred commitment with the universe. May the peace of God continue governing your mind and abundantly blessing every step and every day of your journey.